Hey, it's Andrew. Welcome to Beat Therapy. Now, if you wanted to have a sound effect of wind in your video game, there are a few ways you could go about doing that. You could record some wind. You could generate some wind in a VST or from a keyboard. Or you could build your own procedural wind generator inside FMOD. And that's what I've done, and I'm going to talk you through that. Now, depending on the project, recorded wind from a microphone or from a sound library might be perfectly adequate. But if you have extended gameplay in an outdoor setting or something and you want to have a convincing, immersive environment, you're going to want the wind to be varied over time. And there are a few ways you can go about doing that, but I haven't found a way that's more efficient than what I'm doing here in FMOD. So I did see on Twitter the other day, somebody had built their own VST instrument, which I thought was pretty amazing. But they were using pink noise there and a few filters. And the idea was that this VST was going to be somehow integrated into the game engine, and I'm not really sure how that would work, but it came in, the VST itself was around 180 megabytes or something. You could download a free version, but I've built this inside FMOD, and it comes in at under 500 kilobytes. Anyway, so if you like, we can jump straight into FMOD and I can show you what I've built here. I've started with just a 2-second loop of some pink noise, and that sounds like pink noise. Now, we use pink noise because apparently it's a closer frequency range or spectrum to what happens in nature or whatever, but yeah, there's white noise, pink noise, brown noise, a whole bunch of them, but pink noise is the one that sounds more natural, harmonics or something. The Wikipedia entry was pretty heavy duty, but white noise is more obnoxious than pink noise, so that's just something to bear in mind if you want to try making your own wind generator. Use pink noise as a starting point. So 2 seconds of pink noise and then filtering it. So I've got EQ and a narrowband, like narrow pass, a band pass filter going on here, and straight away I can whoosh that up and down, and we've got some sort of cheesy 80s basic synthesizer wind. Obviously that's not the final product, but that's the basic building block for the end product. Now, the beauty of FMOD is that I can be as complicated as I want within FMOD, and a game programmer only needs to reference the event name and the parameter name and send a couple of numbers back and forth to have access to as much complexity as I care to build. And that's a huge selling point for me. I am not sponsored by FMOD, by the way. I don't even have a t-shirt yet. Just in case somebody wanted to send me an FMOD t-shirt, I would probably wear it. Anyway, moving on. In my little demo here, we have some automated, panned, variably filtered pink noise loops. And this is basically the control of a wind weather system. So from Unreal or Unity, the game programmer could send a value to crank up the wind. Less is more to begin with, but wind is picking up. That sounds like about 40 knots or so, 50 knots. That's, yeah. But I've got two parameters here. So one of them is the storm intensity, and the other one here I just built for fun. It's basically controlling a low pass filter. And okay, now we're inside. Now we're in a cave. And now we're like going inside the cave. And now we can't hear the storm at all. So I think that could be useful in a game context. Like if you go behind a wall, it's a quick way to do real-time occlusion. It's just playing with a low pass filter. So, and that's mapped on there. So really, yeah, the game designer or the programmer just accesses these two parameters and we're good as gold. But yeah, so from basically starting with a 2-second loop, that's the same sample data that gets used throughout the entire project. So there's only 375K worth of wave data. You could probably convert that to Vorbis or some other format to save even more space if you wanted to run this on a mobile game, if you wanted some sort of light file size. And yeah, it's pretty amazing. So that's what I really love about FMOD. I get to be creative without annoying the programmer. I get to build, really cool stuff. If I ever get to the stage where I actually have made some proper YouTube tutorials, I will link to them right here. But this is just me sort of showing off cool stuff as I discover it. So yeah, this is a wind generator. I could maybe show you, I tweeted this the other week, but I made this cool interactive music system. But explaining it is going to be too much for today. But look, let's have a look. So yeah, for this project, I've been playing around with some of the command instruments and just, yeah, having a lot of fun. Just imagining different parameters that could be used inside a game engine. There's so much you can do with this software. But yeah, this was inspired by a friend of mine, Lewis, who's making this really cool game. This music isn't necessarily going in that game, but it was, yeah, it's a little bit Zelda-esque. It's outdoors. It's kind of Animal Crossing / Zelda. It's very cute. I'm talking too much. So yeah, I was having a really good time just building this little musical demo for an imaginary game, really. And I could link any of these instruments and have sort of like a living orchestra built into a game. So you could have themes for individual characters as they come and go, time of day, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I was just playing with different variables and just experimenting with new ways of keeping the music alive, which is kind of my thing. Yeah, and just playing with different music states and stuff. So yeah, this is a little too complicated for me to explain, but it was fun. And you know what? If you are a game developer working in Unity or Unreal, and you're interested in even just chatting, sort of no strings attached, about FMOD implementation, I'm more than happy to do that, speaking about sound effects or music as well. So, because I love building adaptive music and I love seeing games make the most of their soundtracks, and I think FMOD gives you a golden opportunity to do that. They've recently updated their terms of service or whatever, so indies can use it. It used to be once a year on like a $500,000 budget, and it was free to use. Now it's, don't quote me on this, check their website, but it's yeah, unlimited projects within a year, so long as your revenue is under a certain threshold. But it's essentially free for indies, so I think you'd be mad not to use it, or not to check it out at least. Yeah, so playing with variables, music, fun things. Yeah, anyway, hit me up on Twitter. My DMs are open. Please don't spam me. Yeah, but happy to talk to developers because, yeah, I'm looking for my next project and I would love for these skills to be used on something fun. So, cool. Thanks for stopping by. Let's see if this stream button works. Yeah, thanks for stopping by, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Cool.